Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is King Ruthless giving you the final cast of this replay pack. This is going to be a Zerg versus Terran on the map. I think this is Searing Crater. And let's go ahead and introduce our two players. As we've had in the previous three casts, our blue Zerg will be Oxa as the blue Zerg. He is a master Zerg from France, and his revolutionary strategy is about starting the aggression with lots of lings and little to no banelings. His opponent in the right-hand position will be Peon. Peon is a red Terran, and a little bit about his guide. As I've said millions of times before, let's go and get rid of that, go to the production tab. A lot of the notes I have here, which, yes, they're right here. Okay, so his motto is get army early and expand under safety of the army. So basically with this idea in mind, you can sacrifice a little bit of economy, I guess, in the mid-game. So this way you can shut down any pushes that Terran will send your way. Terrans and Master and Diamond level especially love those 2-base tank marine pushes, maybe with some Hellions or Thors. As we've seen with all of his replays so far, he's pretty much shut them all down. But this is a game I've been talking about for quite some time. This is a really close match, and I think the spawning locations on Searing Crater has something to do with this. And here's what it is. It's Searing Crater, and its close positions laterally. So, Oxa will get in here with his drone and scout, by the way. But I mean, Terran's going to be able to take his natural and then take his third over here and expand towards Zerg. And once Terran gets on 3 bases, it's very problematic for Zerg. Terran can actually set up tanks right here and start shelling this Vespene geyser that Oxa is making. Oxa on this map, and on most maps, goes for 15 hatch, then 15 gas, and 14 pool. And the only map that he doesn't really like to do that on is Xel'Naga Caverns, because there's so many Hellion pushes or 2 Rax pushes that are just really strong. Now I know both of those are getting nerfed in the next patch. They possibly will. Possibly see some nerfing from the Barracks build time. Barracks build time will be increased by 5 seconds. Blue Flame Hellions will be nerfed as well. They will not do quite so much damage against light units, and it's really against the worker lines that it's been so nasty. And a lot of Terrans have been saying, you know, that this is why, you know, the Terran versus Terran metagame has gone from, you know, Marine tank wars with Marauders into like Blue Flame Hellion. It's gone really mech heavy. It's because of those Blue Flame Hellions. They're just so nasty against Marines, especially when you line them up. But we'll see what happens in the metagame once the patch does come out, and if Blue Flame Hellions are nerfed as much as they say they will be. So they're spawning close by ground positions, and Peon is going to go ahead. It looks like he wants to set this SCV up to do a bunker. And sorry about that lag, I'm not sure what that is. So we do have 2 Marines on the way. This bunker will go down whenever he decides to start building it. He needs to start building it. No, he's not going to build up the bunker. He's just way too late. Peon was just too late with that harass. So all this is going to get shut down. This SCV will have to run away with its life. And meanwhile, Oxa is going to chase away with these 4 lings. And then he's going to do something that I really like from Zergs. He's actually going to chase this SCV for a while, and he's going to split off a couple of the Zerglings to take the watchtower. So one Zergling does split off to take this middle tower, and I expect to see the other Zergling will actually go to run probably to the bottom of this ramp to see what he's doing. Terran, meanwhile, has gone for Reactor Hellion Harass. This is really nasty against lower level Zergs, especially because they just don't know how to SimCity. We're going to watch Oxa's SimCity here. He's already gotten out 2 Creep Timbers, so he will have plenty of creep spread. This will help his Queens maneuver around his natural quite nicely. 1 Spine Crawler is going down, and a 2nd Spine Crawler. You can expect to see an Evolution Chamber block here as well. This is going to be really hard for any Hellions to get in. They're going to have to move all the way around the back here. And Ox is going to do the smart thing and block off with this Evolution Chamber. So Hellions are going to be really hard pressed to get through here. They're just going to take so much damage. It's really going to limit how much they can do. So the Hellions are going to come in here and are going to be able to pick off 1 drone, but the Queen is out and the Zerglings will be enough to chase this away. Pretty good control from Oxa. Now that these spines are up, you can expect the Hellion harass to subside. These 2 Hellions as well. Oh, looks like he wants to go in for round 2. I'm not sure if I agree with this, because the spines are already up. He has Lings positioned pretty well. Oh, but these Lings are going to get picked off. No, they're not. They're going to immediately run back, and these spines are going to go to work. So Hellions are going to get no work done, but they are going to be able to sit out here. And let's see what So if Peon does behind this, he is bringing 2 SCVs, maybe to auto-repair the Hellions, maybe to throw down a bunker. I'll be very interested to see what he does. He is scanning up here, doesn't see... He's going to pick off this creep tumor, so that's very nice. That's really going to limit how much creep he can spread. And he's going to pick off this creep tumor as well. Nicely done by Peon. So we see this creep begin to subside, and now Peon is throwing up 1 bunker. Not sure why this other SCV is here. Maybe he will throw up a second bunker. Siege Tech is on the way, so it looks like Peon will begin to push with 1 tank and a couple of Marines. Once they can get into these bunkers, it will be really hard for Zerg to do very much. He'll be very much contained. And Zerg can't really push out. He looks like he's throwing down a Roach Warren to deal with this aggression. You either go for Baneling Nest or Roach Warren, but honestly against these early pushes, Roaches are just better. In general, they can tank a lot of damage, and the tank count won't be that high to make them inefficient. So 1 bunker is filled up. These Hellions are just camping out here just outside the range of the Spine Crawlers, and the tank is going to begin to shell away at this Spine Crawler and needs to lift up and move away. Oxa is making 20 lings, and the Spine Crawler finally will uplift, but this Spine Crawler is now under attack. It needs to move away as well. It will finally move itself closer to the mineral line and out of range of that siege tank. We have 3 hatcheries done and a lot of Zerglings out. So it looks like he's waiting just for the right time, and a lot of these Zerglings will come in before the second tank can siege up. This will be enough to take out the siege tanks, and should be enough to take away the rest of the bunker. So really nice play by Oxa, denying this contain from Terran, waiting until the right amount of Zerglings are out before he decides to engage. So these Marines will all go down, and this push has been denied. So Peon will retreat with his forces. He has put up his natural, so he is now on 2 base, immediately throwing down a bunker. Will probably siege up these tanks, so don't expect to see too much happen from this Ling attack. Or maybe, will he get these tanks up in time? No, he will not, and they are going to focus fire the first tank and then get the second tank. These Lings doing a lot of damage, so now 2 tanks down, 3 tanks down for Terran. And so let's look at the tank count, look at the units. 0 tanks. That was actually a really nice counterattack. A lot of times when Zergs break 1 contain, they think, okay, now I have to remacro my army. You should go counterattack. It's actually quite nice, because a lot of times Terran will come with a lot of his units and will not have a lot back home. So as we see there, Peon did not have a lot, and he lost 2 tanks as a result of that push failing. More Zerglings streaming in. They need to back away. It looks like the Zergling will camp right outside. No, he will not. He will turn around, being a bit indecisive. He will stand right here and wait for the next push to come out. So another thing that he said with his guide is putting Zerglings across attack paths. The Zergling is right in the way, so whenever Terran decides to push out, the Zergling will know about it first. But this tank, will not siege on the high ground. He will move towards the low ground to provide more DPS against any sort of counterattack. This Marine will get picked off, will not get any scouting done. I like the positioning of Zerglings out in the middle of the map. This way they can intercept any kind of scouting Marines or SCVs. Meanwhile, Lair is on the way for Oxa, who does have 4 gas, but he's only mining out of 2. It's just a mistake. It looks like, okay, he is sending drones to start on those Vespene geysers, and he is starting on his +1 armor. This will definitely help the Roaches, who already have a an armor bonus. This Viking will be annoying and start to pick off Overlords. I feel like a lot of Terrans just don't know how nice Vikings are early game before Mutalisk. They're really good for running around the map and picking off Overlords. So you see here, this Viking will pick off the second Overlord, and the Overlord will be forced to move itself. These Overlords should probably move back towards the base. Queen will start picking away at this Viking, but not before the Viking can get 1 more volley off to take out that Overlord. Oxa is once again supply locked. 5 more Overlords are in production, and that +1 carapace is about to finish. He's going to get 2 more of these Overlords. These Overlords are so undefended. It's going to take a while for anything to pop out here and do any damage. Kind of a miscontrol here by Terran, moving the focus fire. He's going to pick off another of these Overlords, but he's moving it out of position, giving himself time to get a Queen over here to protect these other 2 Overlords. So this Queen is trying to make her way over, needs to transfuse this Overlord. Transfuses the wrong Overlord. Oh no, that's not the Overlord you wanted to transfuse. You wanted to transfuse the other one. If you can turn around and transfuse that other one, he can save himself so many minerals. That's 100 minerals, and that's 1 larva. Another thing that I didn't mention in the other cast about this kind of playstyle from Oxa is that it's very larva intensive. It costs a lot of larva to make a lot of Zerglings early game, and so you will need a lot of macro hatcheries. So we have 1 hatchery, 2, 3, and a 4th hatchery. This should be plenty. Nice transfuser, barely saving that Overlord, and that Viking will go down, so the Viking harass should subside. Meanwhile, Payon has taken his 3rd. So now Zerg and Terran are on even bases. This is generally where you do not want to be a Zerg, but the Spire is going up. 6 creep tumors are out on the way. Wow, that's some pretty nice creep spread right there. And this is kind of the nice thing about going with a lot of a mineral heavy build and focusing more on getting minerals and less on getting gas early game, is you can afford a lot more queens. So that's a lot more injects, that's a lot more larva, and that's a lot more queens. This drop will come in the back, and we'll be able to shoo away. The drones do move away in time. The Lings will be forced to run back and deal with this. So the queen is focus firing the medevac, who will immediately run away. A nice thing to do is to put down a spine crawler about right here. Terran is so nasty with this positioning. So I mean, this is a really good position for Terran to be in, these spawn locations. No upgrades so far to Stem, and he already has Siege, more medevac production. So it's a pretty nice army composition for Terran right now. He needs to unload this medevac so he doesn't get sniped. But look at all these Lings and several Roaches out. He has not yet started on Roach speed. No, I don't think he has. Let's see. Nope, he has not started on Gleeover Constitution. But I think he's saving that up for Mutalisk production. This Scouting Marine will get picked off. This SCV will get picked off. And now he's just going to camp right here in the middle. And Terran can't feel safe about pushing out yet with all these units just right here in the middle to meet him. So Terran in the meantime is just going to continue to macro up. He's throwing down a couple more barracks, 4 more barracks in production, as well as another command center. Yeah, he's throwing that up in his main so he can float it down to this base. Terran doing a great job with macro. He's spending, his minerals are very low. He's doing a great job of spending his money. So this is a very nicely played Terran versus Zerg. And will these Mutalisks be able to intercept this dropship? They are, and it's will they see it? Will they spot it? They're going to run away from the dropship. So the dropship will, he will not go unanswered. This dropship will go down, and very few casualties from the Zerg. Will be able to pick off both of these Marines, easy peasy. So the drop press is denied. Very nicely done by Axa. Very fortunate of him to have those Mutalisks out at that position. A 4th has gone down for Axa, and he's just ramping up drones. Look at that, 19 drones. Look at the income tab. Zerg is behind, but after 19 drones come out, he will be at 80. Spot on. And we have +1 flyer, +2 for the ground. So he will be very strong. He'll be very well upgraded for the ground army at least. And 2 more spines are going down. I think they've gone down. Oh yeah, they've gone down here to prevent any further drops. Hive is starting as well. That's a pretty fast Hive. For only 18 minutes into the game, I guess that's about the time you want to do that. But a lot of Zergs out there just rely on tier 2 for so long. Axa feels it's, if you are at least on 3 base you can do it, but 4 base is preferential. You want to be on 4 base for a Hive, and that way you can actually afford the Hive tech. You'll have enough gas to do it. So he's stockpiling a lot of gas here. Looks like he's getting +2 flare attacks. These Zerglings are going to run, and they're going to take out this, they're going to pick away at this base. This base has nowhere to go. He should just cancel this and lift off, but it looks like he's going to lose. His planetary forces will not go down in time, and these Marines will get picked off as well as some of these SCVs. So this 4th from Terran was denied. Very nicely done, and now it looks like Terran is ready to push out, but where are his medevacs? Okay, late medevacs. This Marine tank force is trying to siege up here, but it's going to get surrounded by these Zerglings, and so much focus fire from the tanks is actually taking out a lot of his own tanks. And Zerg right here is just thinned down the tank number. What is the tank number at? 2 tanks. He went from like 8 or 9 tanks to 2, so a very nice trade for Zerg, who needs to run away. Do not engage these swords and Marines. He's going to lose so many Mutalisks. He needs to run away ASAP. This turret will get a few pot shots on that Mutalisk, but none of them will go down. 15 more Mutalisks on the way, as well as an Ultralisk cavern, so we should see some Ultralisk action quite soon here. Terran will immediately come in here and start picking off these Kree tumors, and now Zerg's actually in a really nasty spot. These Overlords are going to get picked off. The supply potential is going to drop. More Overlords getting taken out, but these Zerglings and Mutalisks are going to do so much damage against this army. Their siege tanks are not sieged up yet. He's going to magic box the Thor. Thor will go down quite quickly, and now these Mutalisks will be free to pick apart these dropships if they choose to. 2 dropships going down, so Terran is losing a lot of gas. It looks like he wants to focus fire that tank. That is the primary target, but Terran still has about 6, now 8 medevacs, so his infantry is going to be very strong. Let's see what his infantry's at. Oh, he's loading all of them. He's only at 0-1, and he's been spending so much gas on these medevacs and tanks. I don't think he's had time to really upgrade his infantry as much as he would have liked. So I would like to see more upgrades from the Terran Zerglings over here at the potential for the Terran to deny any further production. This drop will be scouted by the Zerglings, I believe. Yes, will be scouted by the Zerglings. Looks like Oxa wants to go ahead and throw up a 5th. So Zerglings are on the way to, I guess, intercept. I'm not sure where this drop is exactly going. Let's follow the trajectory. Yep, he is going for this base right here. He wants to attack this base. A couple Marines are coming out to clear the watchtower, and Terran already has another nasty push right out. I think it would be really nice if he dropped the supply depot, and that way his stores could come out in time. And this is a terribly nasty push for Terran. We have all these auto-repairing SCVs, a nice tank count, a nice Thor count, and oh my gosh, it is so many medevacs. He needs more Marines, but he's producing 6 at a time. I think he's waiting for another round. Aaron is now maxed. Terran is pushed out with this really disgusting army. So what can Zerg do about this? It looks like Terran has gone in and is going to be able to pick off that spine crawler. Is immediately going to run away, maybe to peck away at these Zerglings. This massive Mutulus will be enough to pick off this dropship, but now Terran is getting into a nice position here. He's going to siege up and start sieging the base of Zerg. And look at all these auto-repairing SCVs. There's not much of anything you can do about this. He's actually sending the SCVs to attack. That is not what you want to do. You want to send the army to attack the SCVs to repair. And with these Ultralisks, will he be able to break this contain? There were a lot of Thors out, and there were a lot of Mutalisks. Mutalisks are kind of climbing up, but these Ultralisks are doing so much damage. Payon knows that it's the game right there. He has lost that final push, and there comes the GG. So those Ultralisks really saved the game for Oxa right there. If he had not had those Ultralisks, that push right there would have killed him. With that many tanks, that many Marines, that many medevacs, and that many Thors, these Ultralisks do so much damage, 19 damage per attack, and they do an area of effect damage. So anyways, that will be the game. That will be the final game. These Zerglings were over here actually denying this 4th. And really, that's pretty much how Oxa's build works. That was the closest game I could bring up for you guys. Twice Oxa should have died, but with some very nice defending and some really well-timed attacks from his Mutalisks and from his upgrades and from his Ultralisks. He was able to fend both of those off. You can see he was also going for Pathogen Glands, Greater Spire, Carapace level 3, and Melee level 3. So really a very good game, very well executed game by Oxa. And that will do it for this series. Oxa Zerg versus Terran. Let's ramp up the aggression. That will do it for this. And I hope you guys enjoyed the cast so far. If you would like to see more, please send me your own replays at kangaruthless@gmail.com. I would be more than happy to cast your own replays. And I hope you guys enjoy these casts. So maybe if you are a Zerg player and you're having problems with Zerg versus Terran doing these nastily timed pushes, take some notes from this guy. Oxa is a high-level Zerg player, and he does very well in Zerg versus Terran. So that'll do it for this cast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please rate, comment below, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.